Missy is definitely up there when you're talking about iconic MCs.
Yes.
And so,
a true creative.
Oh, big facts, big facts. And so she really, I think what she kind of saw, she always told me that she saw superstar quality in me. And, you know, I always feel like a person of that likeness can always recognize a person that's, you know, I mean, that has that same kind of thing. And so, yeah, right from the door, she just told me like, it's going to be hard work. Like, it's not going to be a cakewalk. I'm really going to push you, which I did appreciate about Missy as a mentor, is that she really did push me. And I believe that as a creative, and any kind of person, like, to reach your potential in life, like, you need people to be pushers and push you into your great. Exactly. And so she was that for me. Like, I've been blessed to have a lot of strong women mentors in my life, like in all different fields. And so for music, definitely she just helped me become, you know, an elevated version of myself. And I took my time and I got in there, and I was a student and I was a sponge. I learned a lot. And then, you know, it comes that time when they're training you and preparing you so that one day you can go out there on your own. And spread your wings. And
yes. And one thing you touched on is being a student. And that, I think that is so important, especially in the industry. You have to be a student of your craft first.
Come on.
Because everybody come in thinking they know everything. And it's
like, right. That's a fact, though. You already know.
You have to be a student of your craft. So for you, describe your sound for us and your inspiration behind your look, because, honey, you serve looks.
Thank you.
Being a brand ambassador for Alexander Wang. So shout out to this queen. Describe the inspiration behind your looks as well as your sound.
Yeah, you know, I've always been a fan of fashion. Like, since I was a little girl, I used to make my clothes. I used to always use, because, you know, I use fashion as another opportunity for me to be creative and express my creativity. So I'm never afraid. Like, I will rock, you know, I always was rocking a million different color hairstyles. One day I will have 30 inches, the next day short cut. Like, I was
watching, I'm like, every look she wears looks good, because, you know, some people, you like, okay, she rocked that, or that one was but it's like, you have taste for literally every single look.
Honey, and I did all of them. Like, so I was always obsessed with fashion. And, you know, I really came up too amongst the ballroom scene too, where I ran into so many creative individuals, like, and they really turned it up for me. Like, I got so many, you know, friends that are fashion icons that love fashion, and that's how we used to connect back in the day. So it definitely was fashion has always been like a absolute love for me, and I still to this day, like, fashion, I live. Everybody says, like, sis, when is your line coming out? Because I'm ready to spend my coins. So, so, you know, I definitely know that that's a path I will take, because it's just always been in my life and a part of my life. But I believe that kind of bleeds into my music too. So I created Banji Entertainment, and then I was blessed enough to, a couple years after, I just turned around and finally signed myself to my own company. And so so that was a big, you know, that was a big thing for me. I think as independent artist too, because I don't think people really know, like, I've been independent really my career. Like, I've never really signed to a huge major label, even when I was.
And that's what I'm saying. You're literally elevating and
putting in the work, the hard grassroots work in, you know.
And the consistency. And so I think the one thing that is important is, like you said, ownership, and that I think, because
it's so important. There's so many things we don't. That's the gift I do feel about this age in the music business. Like, it does allow the artists and the creatives to really understand their position and in this game, because a lot back in the day we really didn't have those options, because you was going to your label and your label took care of everything, and then you was getting to the studio doing your art, and then that was that. But nowadays you kind of like, you have to be locked in. It's like a level where you got to know your business, you got to know your art, you got to know what's next, you know what I mean? So
like you said, how to stay relevant.
Yes, you have to do. So
absolutely. And sometimes you might have to learn, like you said, how to create a treatment so you can do your video from the top to the bottom and already come and say, here's the plan, this is what I want. You know, you can put your creative spin on it, but sometimes you already have to come with the blueprint.
Exactly. Big facts, for sure.
Hey, it's 2020, so we elevating up. We
Come on, elevation.
We have to learn ourselves as well.
Right.
Speaking of that, because you have been consistent and you have had a lot of success, what keeps you focused and grounded throughout all of this? Because this is a hard industry, especially for women MCs.
Yes.
I feel like y'all have it the hardest.
What? You better have some
y'all have it the hardest. And so, how do you stay focused and grounded through all of that?
God, you know, it might seem cliche, but it's just facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I keep a strong spiritual connection.
Yes.
My family, I'm really, I'm a family person. You know what I mean? My family always been pretty close knit, and we really have each other's back, hold each other down. We go through everything with each other. So I'm very grateful for them. And I think too, an important part, and people don't really take time to really hone in on this, is like your mindset. You know what I mean? Like,
I say this every day.
Yes, like how you what you set in your mind. Like I always say, like, if you you have to go there in your mind first before you can get there in reality. And it's all about the vibe and the energy that you're placing in your head. Like I've always been very optimistic, like, type of person, trying to put out that positive energy, trying to keep that positive mindset.
Yeah, so talk to us about how you overcame that difficult time and any advice you could give to women out here for early prevention or detection, because it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I feel like Black women, we get hit with everything. Okay.
I feel like you better talk about it. Yes.
I feel like we get hit with everything, the worst, So any words of encouragement or advice you can give for African American women, and then just talk to the people about how you were able to get through that difficult time.
Oh yeah, I mean, for sure. I did go through the entire for having chemotherapy and like, what a journey. You know what I mean? Like, it's already intense enough when you get the diagnosis that you're actually dealing with something like cancer. And so it really took me by surprise. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, I was like, wait, who? Because I always truly been that girl that like works out. I'm always like, I'm into meditation, yoga. Like, I'm here for it. I do holistic everything. Like, you know what I mean? So I try to stay on top of my physical, my health in general. And so the 4 really pushed me as a person. It really made me understand like the tenacity and the strength that I had in that time, especially looking back in retrospect, because while it was going on, I was just pushing through. I wasn't even like really focused on what was happening, you know what I mean, at the time. And but it was so much love poured out. Like, initially I just started the journey solo, but by the end of that show, Queen, all the supporters and people pouring the love into me, like, I started to feel like, look, every day I gotta go in here and battle, not just for myself, but all the people out there rooting for me. I gotta still show up, you know what I mean? So definitely an intense moment too, like, but I really just, like I said, I never allowed that idea that it was going to overtake me. I always had the optimism that, okay, we just got to figure out how to get through this. You know what I mean? And I just kind of put my boots on and plow through. But I did just release a new record entitled New, yes, and a new video for it, which I did direct and assist and choreograph along with a dope choreographer, Gary Buford from Atlanta. And so that video's out now. And the reason why I love that record is because it is a true representation of like where I am in my life, and I feel new energy. It's a new perspectives, just new everything, you know what I mean? And so, and you know how us artists are, child. As soon as we got a feeling or a vibe about something, we got to put it in a record. We got to get creative.
Make it hit, okay?